Slave of God, you good?
How are you, bro? Yeah, I'm good, bro. How are you?
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
That's alright. That's alright.
Slave of God obviously means probably you're Muslim, right?
Yeah.
Nice. You agree with the prompt?
Nah.
I knew it. You know, I was kind of thinking you won't agree with the prompt. Kind of got it.
Okay.
So why not?
So yeah.
Ooh, who's coming in, guys?
Simply because if you read the Quran,
Mm-hmm.
قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. Allah
Mm.
is Ahad,
Surah
uniquely one.
Ikhlas. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So Surah Ikhlas.
Yeah,
So what is Surah Ikhlas basically telling us?
It's telling us
yes.
that Allah is uniquely one. He's not begotten, nor does he beget. Yeah,
Uniquely one. Sweet.
he's uniquely one.
If I have to ask you, because I am making the claim that there's many gods in Islam,
Okay.
by definition, what do you think is the definition of, or you can give me your definition of what you think God is?
God is all powerful,
Mm-hmm.
unlimited,
Mm-hmm.
eternal,
Mm-hmm.
is not begotten, nor does he beget.
Mm. It's not begotten noise. So you would agree that everything that you've mentioned is that if you the moment when you mentioned is all powerful, then nothing else can be powerful except him.
I mean, you can be powerful in a limited sense, but nothing can be unlimitedly, like nothing can be powerful, like all powerful, as in all powerful when you say all powerful, unlimited in power.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So someone can
Mm-hmm.
be limited in power, you know what I mean? But unlimited in power is what we're talking about here.
Yeah. And the same would apply to knowledge. No one can be more knowledgeable than God in any sense.
Yeah, yeah. No one can be unlimited in knowledge
Okay.
except for God.
Can I ask a question to Slave of
Yeah,
God?
yeah.
If God were to commit a fallacy and someone else picks up that fallacy and they can pick out the blunder, would that mean that they are more knowledgeable?
Say again.
If God were supposedly to commit a logical fallacy and someone picks out that logical fallacy, they can actually identify it. Would it follow that they are smarter than God, hypothetically speaking?
It's the same thing as saying, can God create a rock so heavy he can't lift?
It's not the same
You get what
thing.
I'm saying? It is the same thing because you're saying if God is all knowledgeable, how can he commit a logical fallacy, a formal fallacy that doesn't make any sense? You get what I'm saying?
No, that's not what I said at all. What I said was if someone could pick out a logical fallacy that he made, would it mean that they are smarter than him? That's not me saying that he doesn't have knowledge. I'm not reducing from his knowledge. I'm saying that someone else potentially could be smarter or know better.
How does it how can you be that question does not make any sense because like, how can someone be smarter than someone that's all knowledgeable, has all knowledge, unlimited in knowledge? How could someone in unlimited in knowledge make a mistake? How could someone with unlimited knowledge make a
Okay,
fallacy,
so what you're saying is,
be illogical?
so what you're
That
saying
doesn't
is,
make sense.
okay, so what, yeah, so what you're saying is, if I pick out that God makes a logical fallacy, I'm actually disproving that he's all-knowing as opposed
No,
to proving myself
no,
smarter.
that's not what I said. That's the same thing as me that's the same thing as saying can God create a rock so heavy you can't lift? That's the exact same thing. It's not
Slave of
it's
God,
not something that's within.
can you still man my point? Can you still man my point? Because it seems like you're not understanding what I'm saying.
No, I'm understanding what you're saying, but it doesn't make any sense. The way
Can
you
you still
formulated your
man it?
question doesn't make any sense.
Can you still man it?
Okay, so how can someone with all knowledge make a mistake?
That
How can
was not my
someone that's
question.
all powerful, how can someone yeah, because how do you make a logical mistake? How do you make a fallacy? It's
That
you
was not my
based
question.
on illogical thinking, right?
You see, that was not my question. You entirely decided to reinterpret my
Okay.
question. My question wasn't how can someone all-knowing make a logical fallacy. My question was, if I found and were able to identify a logical fallacy that God makes, this is hypothetical, would it mean I'm smarter than him? That was my question.
No, still like it still doesn't. How like again? How can if you're because again my definition of God is someone who's all knowledgeable, is unlimited in knowledge, right? So how are you gonna identify a mistake in someone who's all powerful, all knowledgeable? You get what I'm saying?
Because
Like Allah doesn't
because
have any
all I need,
flaws. So how?
yeah,
Yeah.
you're asking how is it possible? Because all I logical fallacy place.
Say that again. You cut out.
Okay. Slave of God, here's what I'm asking. All I hypothetically fallacy. Would that make me smarter than God, hypothetically?
Hmm? What would you say? You keep cutting out. Your internet's a bit.
King,
Keep
can you
cutting out.
understand the question I'm asking?
Just ask it again, Grafted. I haven't listened to it. I was just stepping out.
I'm gonna ask the question one more time, but I'm gonna ask the host.
Yeah. All right. Look. So
Yeah,
like
our
I understand the
guest
question you're
seems to
making.
not
I understand the question. I get
And the
I get
host,
the point
I
that
want,
you're saying.
it's
Yo,
fine,
it's
it's
very
fine.
like it's
I
such a
want
very
to,
it's a
no,
very
I
simple
want to make
question.
sure that the host
But
understands it because you seem to not be able to engage.
okay, go
So I'm
ahead.
gonna ask the host.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
King,
Okay.
Go for it.
if hypothetically God, even if he was all knowing, made a logical fallacy, if I were able to identify the logical fallacy, point it out, and show him where he went wrong, would that make me smarter than him?
Yeah, you pointed out something that he was supposed to be all knowledgeable about. Yes.
Okay, so hypothetically, it would make me smarter than him.
Yep. Because
Okay, so it was actually a pretty easy question to understand.
it's not complicated. Yeah, it's not. It's not complicated. I think you just need to be honest with the question. That's it.
Okay. So, slave of
Okay.
God, what is your contention to the question and why it
Okay.
doesn't make
Okay.
sense?
Okay. I'll show you. Because there's three possibilities here. Right. There's when you ask this question, there's three possibilities here. It's either the first possibility, right, is that there isn't. If you're saying this being is all knowledgeable, yeah, it means that even the first possibility is that there's no real logical mistake, and that the person thinks they found a mistake, right? But in that case, like they're not smarter than God. The second possibility is that they've misunderstood God's statement, and the third possibility is that if there's actually a genuine contradiction in the claim being made, then that being claiming to be God isn't God. You get what I'm saying? He was never all powerful. But if we're saying in the hypothetical sense that that being is all knowledgeable, then that can't be. The only way it could be is if that being isn't actually all knowledgeable. That doesn't make sense. You can't say 100% hypothetically this person is all knowledgeable, but at the same time we found a contradiction in what they say. You know what I mean?
A logical fallacy does not have to entail contradiction. There are all sorts of logical.
Fallacy, but fallacy, as in when you say formal fallacy, it's like illogical way, there's an illogical flaw in your way of thinking.
Yeah.
Would I be correct in saying that?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. So, so you can't, that hypothetical situation of, okay, we've established 100% this being is all knowledgeable, but at the same time we found the flaw in their processing. That doesn't really make sense. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's either
would
they
you
are
say-
all knowledgeable or they're not.
Okay, now I get you. Yeah, exactly. And I would agree with those three possibilities. And so if possibility 3 were taken to and demonstrated to be an actual reality, would you then basically concede that this being is not actually God?
If you can prove that there is a objective contradiction in their claim, then that being cannot be God. It's something that is even said in the Quran. If this book had contradictions in it. If this book was from other than God, then you would find many contradictions in it, and pretty much saying that God cannot make contradictions because that undermines their feature of being all knowledgeable.
Again, a logical fallacy does not have to entail a contradiction. There are
No,
all
of course,
sorts
of course. Yeah, but I'm just saying that's the verse in the Quran, pretty much.
So, for example, formal fallacies don't have
Yeah.
to entail complete
No, of course. Yeah,
sorts
yeah.
of contradiction.
No, 100%,
They can still
100%.
be
Yeah,
contradictions. Yeah. Okay.
yeah. I agree with that. Yeah.
Now, God, slave of God, do you hold that Muhammad does not speak out of his own, but everything that he speaks with regard to revelation or legality or legislation as per Islam comes?
Yeah, yeah.
Therefore, the hadith is secondary revelation from Allah.
So there's what you have in the hadith, hadith al-Qudsi, right? Which is like the word for word Allah, like the Prophet, how do I say this? Narrating what Allah has said to him, right? Word for word. And there's other hadiths which are the words of the Prophet. So like we have hadiths of things, for example, he did things that he said, you know what I mean? Some of them are direct revelation from Allah, but then some of them are just things that he said, or like his interpretation of things or his opinion on things. You get what I'm saying?
Yes, when I say secondary revelation from Allah, I don't necessarily mean that it has to have come verbatim, like the format of the Quran, but it is still
Yeah, yeah.
Allah inspired, even if it is the Prophet's own words and not
Yeah, yeah,
verbatim recitation.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
that's what I mean
yeah.
when I say secondary revelation. It still comes from
Yeah.
Allah, the mind of Allah. Okay. King,
Yep.
could you go to Riyadh Asail in 249?
Oh, it's just on. Okay, let me see. 249. Yeah.
Riyadh al-Salihin.
Yeah.
Uh,
249.
249. 249.
There's the one Kulthum. That one.
I'm in the car right now. I remember the number. I don't have the exact text in front of me. That's what I'm asking.
What was it about?
Riyadh
It's
Asalih,
about
the book of miscellany.
yeah, 249.
Yeah,
Yeah,
249.
249.
Okay. Must I read it? Or I think I'm
You
gonna.
can read it. You can pull it up. It's up to you.
Okay. So, Kulthum bint Uqba, may Allah be pleased with her, reported. The Messenger of Allah, peace be upon
Who
him,
reported it? Sorry to cut you
Is-
off. Who reported it?
Kulthum.
Kulthum. Yeah,
Yeah.
alright. Yeah, alright, sweet. Thank you.
So the Messenger of Allah, peace be upon him, said, the person who lies in order to conceal between people is not a liar when he conveys good or says something good. Bukhari and Muslim narrates also the same. It says the narration in Muslim added, she said, I never heard him, she meant the Prophet, giving permission of lying in any except in three: war, conciliating between people, and the conversation of man with his wife, and the conversation of woman with her husband. Is that the one you're referring to, Grafted?
Amen. That's the one I'm referring to.
Then go for it.
Before I start to expound on the slave of God, is there anything you want to say?
No, go on.
Grafted, did you hear? Did you hear his
No, I
response?
didn't hear that.
He said, no, it's fine.
Nice.
You can continue.
Oh, okay. Now, king and slave, you tell me, the opening of that hadith, because it is reported that the Prophet said this, and I've checked the grade, this is Sahih. I checked the grading. Is that a formal contradiction in the opening? That the person who lies in order to do X is not a liar? Is that a formal contradiction?
No, I don't think it would be a formal contradiction.
Did you hear?
So
okay.
let me give an example. Yeah, I heard what he said. He said he doesn't think it would be a formal contradiction.
Yeah.
So if you are not a liar, right, that means you're someone who doesn't lie. Is that correct?
Say again.
If you are not a liar, that means you are someone who does not lie. It means you've told the truth, right?
Okay.
Yes?
Okay.
Okay, I'll take that as a yes. It says that the person who lies in 3 instances, or in order to achieve X, is not a liar. So it's actually saying that by lying, you've told the truth. Is that a formal contradiction?
Say that again.
Okay, I'll say it again. What's being clearly laid out here in this secondary revelation from Allah via Muhammad is that the person who lies in order to achieve X is not a liar. But we know that the only way one can not be a liar is if they are actually telling the truth. So it's actually saying that the person who lies in order to do X is telling logical contradiction. Is that a formal contradiction?
Okay. The way, like, I mean, like, what I would compare it to is if you say, like, for example, like a doctor cuts someone, yeah? It's not, you're not saying that the doctor's an attacker. You get what I'm saying? Like, does that make sense? Would you say that's the same?
No, that's not analogous, because
Why?
cutting someone is not an immediate negation to not attacking someone the same way that a lie and a truth are negations of one another.
Yeah, but if you're cutting someone, someone could say someone could formulate that as you attacking the skin, or you know what I mean, but you wouldn't formulate it in that way.
No, I can't formulate it because I'm telling you that truth and lies are actual negators of one another. The two cannot be true at the same time, whereas a doctor can commit surgery on someone without actually attacking them. Those two truths can coexist, but a truth and a lie can't coexist together. That is a formal contradiction.
Yeah, okay, because I think what the hadith is doing here is when it refers to the word liar, yeah, it's referring to the person's moral character. Yeah, it's not merely just having spoken an untrue statement. You get what I'm saying? So like the hadith is saying, he told an untruth for reconciliation. He's not considered a blameworthy liar. You understand? Like I think it's like the definition of liar here is what needs to be really examined.
Slave of God. Slave of God.
Yeah.
If I say you are not a liar, do I imply that you don't lie?
If you say I'm not, say that again, sorry.
If I say you are not a liar, am I saying that you don't lie? If I say you are not a liar, do I imply that you don't lie? Okay, so then I'm calling you truthful. So in this hadith, Muhammad, and by proxy Allah, is saying that by lying you are telling the truth.
I mean, well, if you call someone not a liar, that doesn't mean automatically that you're calling them truthful. For example, if you ask me a question, but I decide to remain silent, that doesn't mean I'm truthful all of a sudden. You get what I'm saying?
No. Truth and lying negate one another in a contradictory way. It would have to apply that way.
Okay.
I can't say that you are lying in order to not be a liar. That's a literal P, not P. I can't say Gary lied, therefore he's not a liar. That's a P, not P. King, are you understanding what I'm saying? Okay. Now, let me ask, based on everything we've said, all the premises, right, that God, out of the three possibilities that Slave of God laid out, he said possibility 3, if this being actually commits a logical fallacy, he cannot be God. Now, based on the various premises that Muhammad speaks secondary revelation from Allah, although not verbatim in certain hadith, it is still Allah inspired. Therefore, Allah is inspiring a formal contradiction. Conclusion, Allah is not God. Does that follow, King?
Okay, can I add something? Yeah, so I feel like the distinction, yeah, the distinction is the act, yeah, like speaking something untrue, and the moral judgment. So the way Islam put forward is saying that a liar is someone, yeah, a blameworthy liar is someone who's morally lying to create like with malicious intent or whatever it is, yeah, I mean, but in this case, this is something that wouldn't be defined as being a blameworthy liar just because it's permitted circumstances. So Islamically, you wouldn't be defined as a liar because of these circumstances, because does that make sense?
So let me just check this. Okay. There's such a thing as being a morally truthful person and a moral liar according to what you just said to me. So you're blameworthy as long as you're a moral liar. What does it mean to be a moral liar versus being morally truthful? What is the distinction here between normal truth and normal falsehood versus moral truth and moral falsehood? Could you explain that?
So the hadith is saying, he told an untruth, yeah, for reconciliation. You get what I'm saying?
So as long as I'm reconciling, I'm being morally truthful while telling an actual falsehood. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, pretty much.
No. That's a contradiction.
Pretty much. Okay, so pretty much I'm lying in order to convey a moral truth. Is that what you're saying?
Say that again.
Again, please. So you're saying I'm lying in order to convey a moral truth according to Allah and Muhammad. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, but the hadith isn't saying that this person is lying. The hadith isn't saying that this person is lying.
It literally says the person who lies is not a liar. That's a formal P, not P. That is a formal fallacy. And I want to know why Allah is committing a logical fallacy and why someone like me is able to pick this out and identify this if Allah is supposed to be smarter than me.
Okay, 1 second. I'm gonna try to pull it up in Arabic, try to see if I can read in Arabic. I want to see what the language is using.
Jeepers creepers, that's a P and a definite not P.
As far as formal fallacies go, that's as formal as it gets, my brother. That's a straight up P, not P right there.
That's right through the roof. That's it. Thank you for coming. That's a what? That Massa? Jesus is God. What's that Massa? I don't know. What does Massa mean? Jesus, God, Massa. Okay, Massa. Whatever you say, white Massa. What the heck is white Massa?
The person in your comment section is being a racist. They're saying massa, like how the black slaves used to say master.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Sorry, Massa. Nonsense.
All I have to say to that is Libyan slave trade.
Didn't even want to go there. Didn't even want to go there. Not yet, because we still have to finish this conversation first.
Yeah. Listen, I'm only doing this because I've never ever heard an answer to this argument. I don't run it often because it genuinely distresses guests when I do it, which I'm not a fan of. But To this day, it has not been debunked. I have never heard anyone debunk this.
Have you done formal training in philosophy?
I've not done formal training. All my training has been informal.
Okay. Have you asked of like someone that has done or like I mean that's up to speed in philosophy this question?
Oh, yeah, dude. How do you think I informally got trained? I took other people's knowledge. I just didn't do it in like an institute. I just don't have like accreditation.
Yeah.
I mean, slave of God, it's pretty clear cut. Like you can see that that's a formal P not P right there.
Yeah, but the thing is, right? So you're saying the hadith is saying pretty much that he can lie, but he's not a lie at the same time.
Is that not a
doesn't-
P not P right?
That's
Yeah,
not.
I know, but the hadith doesn't say he's lying and he's not lying at the same time
Slave of God.
in the same respect.
Slave of God. The person who lies is not a liar. It wasn't qualified. It's a formal P not P.
Yeah, but you're equivocating on the word liar. Yeah, but the hadith doesn't say lying becomes truth. It says a person who speaks the untruth in a specific permitted circumstance is not considered a blameworthy liar. It's a difference in moral judgment, like not a logical contradiction.
Yes, I understand that that's the rationalization, but you can't say I'm not a liar without telling me that I'm telling the truth.
Yeah, but there's a difference
Those are
between you-
coextensive realities. Those are coextensive.
But there's a difference. There's a difference between someone actually like telling a lie and someone just not saying the truth. Would you not say there's a difference? So if you ask
You
me a
mean there's no
question now,
difference?
okay, all right. For example, so if you ask me a question, and then I decide to ignore you, does that mean I'm lying?
No.
You get what I'm saying? So just because someone
Right. That's
hasn't
analogous.
told the truth,
That's no. I'm sorry, but that's not analogous in the slightest. It doesn't say the person who ignores X is not a liar. It says the person who lies is not a liar.
Yep. That's
That's
what
not
it is.
analogous at
the
all.
person, it says the person who speaks an untruth. It says a person who speaks an untruth in a specific circumstance.
Right, and so it's a logical fallacy in that certain circumstance. In fact, there's three reasons and three opportunities where it's permissible to lie, right? And it is to create conciliation between people, to do it in times of war, and between a man and a wife. Okay? And in those three instances, you are committing a logical fallacy by accepting what Allah and His Prophet say. You are affirming three logical fallacies.
Yeah, but wouldn't it be like a contradiction if Allah says he is a liar, but he's not a liar at the same time? You get what I'm saying? But that's not what the hadith says. The hadith doesn't.
It says the person who lies. It doesn't say ignores. It doesn't say keeps quiet. It says who lies. In other words, they're
Yeah.
telling a lie. He's
Yeah, I
not
know, but
a liar.
what I'm
So it's
saying
a-
is,
it's a
yeah,
lie.
but no, what I'm saying is, yeah, is that what the hadith is saying is that is someone who tells an untruth, for example, yeah, someone who tells an untruth is not considered to be blameworthy, so they will not be sinned for it. It's a moral judgment. Like you get what I'm saying? That's different to the hadith saying, for example, he's lying, but he's not lying at the same time. You get what I'm saying?
No, you are affirming the P not P, by the way. Here's what you're trying to do. You're trying to say it's not morally blameworthy because God permits it. I understand that. But it is still a fallacious statement because it is putting together a lie with the condition of someone not being a liar, i.e., someone who tells the truth, and it puts two negators in the same coextensive propositional place. That is a formal P not P, irrespective of whether Allah permits it or not for the Muslim.
Yeah, I think well the hadith is it's speaking like the hadith is distinguishing between the act and the moral judgment. You get what I'm saying? Like in these limited expectations, this person is not considered a blameworthy liar. It's not they're not considered a blameworthy liar. You get what I'm saying? The debate
Are
is
they
about
considered?
what does
Are they telling
Islam,
the
huh?
Are they telling the truth? Are they telling the truth?
Yeah. Yeah, no. So what
Did you just say?
what no. So what I said what I said is there that the hadith distinguishes between the act and the moral judgment. You get what I'm saying? Like in these limited exceptions, the person is not considered a blameworthy liar. So the hadith isn't saying okay, this person lied and a non-liar at the same time. All the hadith is saying pretty much is the debate. What we're arguing about is pretty much like what is the meaning of liar? It's not logical. It's not a logical contradiction. You get what I'm saying? Like what is Islam what is Islam what is Islam, what does Allah punish you, like, you know what I mean, for what is Islam, Allah punishing you for, pretty much, you know what I mean? That's what we're speaking about.
Yeah, here's what you're trying to do. You're trying to soften the impact of lying by asking how Allah treats the judgment of this lie. But the
Yeah,
problem is
because
still that two contradictory statements are being made coextensive. Lying
okay,
being put with someone who's not a liar. Okay, if you're not a liar, does it mean you tell the truth?
but where does the hadith say that someone is a liar and not a liar at the same time?
No,
That's
we
the
don't
point.
need the hadith to say this. These are
No,
No,
logical
no.
propositions.
That's the point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, but no, but you're basing it on the hadith, right? So where does the hadith say that this person is a liar and not a liar at the same time?
By calling the person one who lies. So it's calling them a liar. And then it's saying they're not a
Yeah.
liar.
Yeah, no, blameworthy liar. It says that they're not a blameworthy liar. We don't blame them for lying. That's what it's
I'm
saying.
gonna do the same thing to you. Where does it say blameworthy?
What? What'd you say? Where does it say
I'm gonna
blameworthy?
do the same thing to you that you just did to me. Where does it say blameworthy?
I don't have I can pull out the exact hadith in front of me, yeah. But even just from the hadith, the way it's spoken of, yeah, I can put out the exact words if you want me in Arabic, if you want me to do that right now, yeah. But
King, will you pull
but
up
what
on-
what
you
what
can pull up on
what
screen
the
I can pull it up.
what the hadith is saying pretty much is that Allah will not punish you for this type of lying. You get what I'm saying, or this type of untruth. Do you understand what I'm
Now-
saying? That's
now-
not. It's not saying that this person is not a liar. It doesn't say that. Where does it say this person is
does.
actually not lying? Where does it say that?
it's fine. We'll pull it up for you, my friend. We'll
What
pull it up
is
for
it?
you. We'll pull it up for you, my friend. Riyad Asailin 249.
Got it. Huh? What?
Yo, Zark, my man.
Okay, I get. Well, just give me a second. I need to remove the background here. I think I don't think that the background is playing with us right now.
Now,
in order
yeah,
for me
take
to
your
see
time,
this.
King. You take your time. Remember, Slave of God said that this is not calling the person a liar. It's saying that what they do is not blameworthy.
Yeah,
Therefore, they're not a liar.
yeah. In
Yes,
pretty
yes.
much.
But now, how he did this is he said that it says they are not a blameworthy liar. I
Yeah.
want the evidence that the hadith is saying blameworthy. I want to see that word.
In actual fact, when you go to sunnah.com 249, nowhere does it say blameworthy. Blameworthy is not part of the. It's not part of the hadith. Let me see if I can find blameworthy within the Arabic by translating the Arabic quickly.
Alright. No, in the actual word for word hadith doesn't
Doesn't say that. No.
blameworthy.
Mm.
Yeah, but the words are interpreted according to their usage. It's not just dictionary meaning. So the hadith doesn't define liar in isolation, but it's understood alongside the rest of the sunnah.
Hold up,
you know,
hold
the
up.
rest of the
Why did
hadith.
you
Wait,
define?
let me
Why?
just finish. So
Wait.
repeatedly, which repeatedly.
No. But here's the thing. You just said the hadith doesn't define it while claiming that the hadith defines it.
No. So, bro, what do you mean? When you do it, what's you doing an exegesis on something? You're
Wait.
interpreting.
Are we
What is that?
Are we exegeting a hadith when the
No,
people who are reporting it tell you what it means?
well, the layperson like me and you isn't equipped with the knowledge to understand or interpret hadith.
Why are you giving
Yeah,
it?
the interpretations of the interpretation of hadith, the hadith of science is.
Interpret it. If you didn't have the
I
knowledge,
didn't interpret
why
it.
did you
I didn't
interpret
interpret it.
You did.
I didn't interpret it.
Let me read.
I didn't. I'm following. Let me finish. I'm following. I'm following what the scholars interpret it as. I'm following it. I'm following it as what the scholars interpret. If you want me to pull up the quotes from the scholars interpreting in that way, I can.
Give me a scholar that says blameworthy.
Yeah, I
Okay, no
wanna,
problem.
I wanna see this exegeted in a way that somehow changes the formal P not P, because I don't actually care whether certain lies are permitted and certain lies are not. It doesn't change the fact that Allah and Muhammad are conflating a truth with a lie by coextension. It is still a formal P not P. But go ahead and attempt to reinterpret this for us, please.
Oh, I thought he doesn't have a license to reinterpret it because he can't.
This is interesting. This is very, very interesting.
One hadith completely disproves that Allah is God.
Jeepers.
And every premise we laid out in the beginning, which slave of God agreed with, right? If all these premises are agreed to, then the conclusion logically follows.
Yeah.
The God of Islam is not actually God. Therefore, Islam is false.
Have Muhammad lied to make Allah God?
No, king is not a liar.
And so I am asking the question, have he lied to make Allah God? Have he lied to do so? No, in retrospect, no, because why? Because why? When he lies, it is actually a truth. Yippee-ki-yay.
My author, and he dies exactly that way.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, bro. I think it's gonna be. I don't think. I don't think there's an. I've never seen the interpretation of a hadith. Someone's giving an interpretation of a hadith, because I know that the dependency of to validate that the hadith is authentic is on the line chain of narration. So if the chain of narration is correct, then obviously the mentioning of the hadith is then also authentic, hence why it's called Sahih. So who wants to give an interpretation?
It is Sahih.
Yeah, no, but the thing, no, so the chain is the chain, how you authenticate that this is something that is authentic. But interpreting, the sciences of interpreting are very complicated. That's why we have the scholars, and we use reference to scholars when it comes to interpreting.
Tell me, if something is Sahih and a person is quoted, does that mean the narration is accurate?
Say that again.
If a chain or a hadith is considered Sahih and is graded as such, would it mean that the narration is accurate?
If it's sahih, yeah.
Oh, well then the interpretation is self-evident.
Yeah, but this is not an interpretation, right? So the hadith isn't interpreting. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, you have hadiths, for example. Now let me finish. Yeah. So the hadith, for example, you have hadiths of the Prophet, for example, interpreting something from the Quran. Yeah. But this hadith isn't interpreting anything. So what we have to do is, how do we understand what this hadith is saying? So that's where the scholars come in. There's certain sciences and certain methods that are used to interpret the Quran and to interpret the hadith. It's the same method that every single scholar uses from that time to this time now. You get what I'm saying? Those sciences are very complicated. That's why we have them to make interpretations, and we use them as references, right? So Yeah, so anyways, you asked me for reference. Imam al-Nawawi says in Sharh al-Sahih that it's the meaning, the person who conciliates between the people is not a blameworthy liar, rather he is a doer of good.
Nah, bruh,
Thank
I'm
you
gonna
for
give
proving
you.
my point.
Yeah, I need to give him
Thank you for
screen.
proving my point.
Can you, slave of God, can you show that?
If you just search up, just search up, because it's not on my actual screen.
Thank you for proving my point, though. I appreciate it. You
What did I,
gotta prove the
what point did I prove?
that the person who lies
It's
is
not
not a
doing
liar.
it's not doing anything
No,
harmful.
wait,
Yeah.
okay, so there's a difference between someone being here, if it's saying, it's not saying that the person isn't a liar, it's saying the person isn't a blameworthy liar. So he's not blamed for lying. There's a difference between you saying that the person is a liar. Does that make sense? I mean, sorry, not a liar. Yeah,
Your imam just clarified it, and he even retained the word liar.
Yeah, but there's a difference between you saying someone is not a liar or someone is a liar, between saying that someone is not a blameworthy liar. Imam Nawawi explicitly interprets as not a liar, yeah, as a like he's not saying that the hadith concerns moral blame, not claiming the falsehood is literally truth. Like that's like I don't know why that's so hard for like I mean for
So
me
again,
to say.
again, the person who lies, okay, is that a proposition entailing the communication of truth or the communication of falsehood?
I'll say that again.
When the hadith says the person who lies, right, that actual sentence, is it a proposition about truth or falsehood? Is that what the proposition entails?
The hadith isn't saying that lying becomes truth. Where does it say that?
Could you answer the question? Could you answer the question? The sentence, the person who lies, is that dealing with truth or falsehood propositions?
Yeah.
Okay. So then this is about more than just moral acceptability. It is also a statement about truth and falsehood propositions. You've just agreed. You've proven my point.
Yes, but you still haven't shown me where the hadith says that lying becomes truth in this scenario.
In order for one to not be a liar, you'd have to be telling a truth.
In order for someone not to be a liar, you have to be telling the truth. It doesn't say, the hadith does not say, again, the hadith does not say that the person is not a liar. It's saying that he isn't going to be blamed for lying.
Oh, then
He's
he
not
is a liar.
blameworthy of lying.
So
He's
is a
lying,
liar.
but he's not going to be blamed for it. He's a liar, but he's not going to be blamed for it. That's
Oh,
what the
there you
hadith is
go.
saying.
You just proved my point. Thank you so much. He is a liar.
what'd you
He's just not
prove?
going to be blamed.
Yep.
He is a liar.
Exactly.
He's just not going to be blamed. You just proved the point. Thank you.
He's not, sorry. He's not that he's a liar, but that lie is not blameworthy. That yes, in that moment he did tell an untruth, but does not make him a liar. So there's a differentiation between you call it when you
Thank
call
you
just
for
because someone
proving my
would you
point.
agree?
Thank you
Would
for
you
proving my
agree?
point.
Would you hang on? You agree with me saying, for example, if someone, for example, I don't know, if someone beats someone like someone, an old lady and a male, for example, they race, right? And he beats her in that race, does that automatically mean that that person is fast? It's not the same
Not
thing.
the same.
It's not the same thing.
It's not
is it?
analogous. It's not analogous.
Yeah,
at
it
all.
is.
It's
It
not
is
the same.
because
It's not
when
analogous at all.
just because someone in that moment says an untruth, it does not mean that automatically that personality of the person is a liar.
I can explain why it's not analogous. Me beating you doesn't require a negation of slowness, but telling a lie doesn't require a negation of truth. So they're not analogous.
Yeah, but does someone tell untruth? Does that make them a liar?
Yes.
That personality a liar. So that person,
Yes.
this person is considered by personality a liar.
Listen, slave of God, if I tell you I am Muhammad, reincarnate, am I telling you the truth?
You can't objectively prove it, can you?
Oh my goodness. Muhammad's body is in the tomb. Not so,
Yeah.
right? At Masjid al-Haram, right? right?
Yeah.
So we can objectively prove that I just lied to you.
No, because your definition of incarnation, people say, "Oh, I'm incarnate," but that doesn't mean they're physically incarnated. Like their body isn't going to be physically present. They say, "Oh, my soul, my spirit, or whatever." Yeah, I mean, but this is all fantasy anyway. So I don't even know why you're bringing it into the conversation.
Oh, because
But
you genuinely just tried to challenge the example I gave you, and then I entertained you challenging it. That's why we
okay. But again, you still haven't shown me where it says that this person, the hadith is saying that someone is a liar. Yeah, I mean, someone is
absolutely did.
telling a lie. No, hang on. Someone is telling a lie, but it's the truth.
I
Where?
can recap all of this for you.
No, but where does just bring from the words of the hadith? Where does it say, yeah, that person A has said something that is a lie, but is that person is telling the truth? Where does it say that in the hadith?
Sure. The person who lies in order to conciliate peace between people is not a liar. Right there, plain statement.
Blameworthy.
It doesn't
Liar.
say blameworthy. It
Doesn't
doesn't
say
say
blameworthy.
blameworthy.
Bro, we just went through Imam an-Nawawi's tafsir of
No.
this.
Slave of God, your own words were, show me where in the hadith, not the interpretation of someone else. You said, show me where in the hadith. I just
No,
did.
I asked you where does it say in the hadith, yeah, that someone tells the truth, tells a lie, and that lie is a truth? Where does it say that?
The person who lies in order to conciliate between people is not a liar.
Blameworthy liar.
Where does it say
You
blameworthy?
can't.
Where does it
Bro,
say
you
blameworthy in the
can't, you
hadith?
what you can't do, yeah, is you cannot use the Arabic and English are two very complicated, two different languages. Arabic is a lot more complicated. So when you use certain words in Arabic, yeah, even though the word is the same, it follows different meanings. You understand? That's why you need tafsir as well.
Let me help you.
This
Even
is why
if you
all of
qualify,
the
even if you qualify, still
can you-
doesn't change that this is
can
a
you
fallacy.
can you
Because
can you
we are not dealing with whether the lie is blameworthy. We are dealing with whether the proposition talks about truth and falsehood being coextensive. That is what makes this a fallacy. Okay, so let me help you. For example, if I, who want to make peace, I want to make good relations with the trans community, I go and I tell a man, you are a woman. Am I lying? Am I lying, or am I telling them the truth?
You're lying, yeah.
Does that make me a liar?
In that moment you lied, but I
Does
can't
that
say
make
that your
me a
personality.
liar? Does
It
that
ma-
make
it's in
me
that
a
moment,
liar?
in that moment you've lied, but just because you've lied doesn't mean that your
question-
personality is a liar.
The question is, am I a liar?
It doesn't automatically make you a liar.
Okay,
You
if
may
I'm
have
not-
lied in that moment, but it doesn't make
I'm
you
not a
mean you're a liar.
If I'm not a liar, it means I'm
Maybe-
truthful, right?
No,
if I'm
no,
not a
that's not what it means. That's not
it
what it means.
100% does. And
Okay,
this is
what
you
if
can't
what
get
if
around.
okay,
This is
what if
why
what if
you're
what
struggling.
if no, what if bro, okay, what if in that moment you it's not that you're lying, yeah, but maybe you don't want to hurt her feelings. That doesn't mean your personality is a liar, the person of a liar.
If I consistently lie to the trans community,
Consistently,
my-
exactly,
no.
consistently. But for
Yes.
you to consistently lie, it has to be more than one occasion. You just spoke to me of one occasion.
And guess what? And guess what? I would consistently lie to keep the peace, wouldn't I?
Yeah, but that doesn't mean, okay, what about in situations where you don't need to keep the peace?
no.
What about in situations
No.
when you don't
The
need to keep the
hadith-
peace?
The
So it's
hadith
saying,
says- the hadith says the person who lies to conciliate, which means keep the peace, who lies is not a liar. I can keep lying to this community to keep the peace. And according to Allah and Muhammad, I'm not a liar. P, not P. Formal
to
contradiction.
reconciliate
Formal
doesn't mean to
fallacy.
keep the peace, to reconciliate, right? But then that's
it doesn't
different.
say
That's different.
reconciliate.
Hang on.
It doesn't say reconciliate.
Yeah, that's what it
doesn't-
says. To
it
reconciliate. That's what it
says
says.
conciliate. It doesn't say reconciliate.
Reconciliate.
It says conciliate. It does not say reconciliate. Reconciliation already presupposes that we've had a falling out. Conciliation merely just means we keep peace, we make good relations without needing to have had a falling out before. Conciliation is not what you are saying. Okay? I'm merely keeping the peace by lying over and over and over. In fact,
Yeah, but
even if
the
I
hadith
lie
actually says
more,
reconciliates. The
no,
hadith translation is
says
reconciles.
conciliate.
Reconciles.
It says conciliate. It doesn't say reconciliate. It says conciliate.
Well, the translation I have here says reconciles between the people. But anyways,
Can I show-
regardless of that, yeah, if you
Can I show
hang
something
on, let me just make my point.
Yeah,
'Cause
sure,
I just
no
want to
problem.
respond to something he just said. So you said, for example, okay, so if someone, for example, yeah, in that only in that moment, yeah, lies to reconciliate, yeah, but in every other single situation, yeah, he tells the truth, yeah, is he lying also in all those other situations?
Let me test that logic. I tell one trans person, you are a man, even though they're a woman. But then I go to the other people and I don't lie to them. And I tell another trans person who's a woman, you are a woman, and she gets upset. Is that what you're saying? Let's make it analogous, right? I lie to one, but I don't lie anymore after that. How do you think that's going to go down? Am I still keeping peace?
What are you showing us?
I'm showing you Riyad As-Salihin. This is his hadith, and then there's commentary also.
Wait, King.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a
King, I just want him to
commentary,
answer my question first.
Yeah.
I just want him to answer my question first. He said, I only need to lie once to keep peace. And I'm testing this logic. If I go to the trans community and I find someone who claims to be a man, but it's a woman, and I lie to that person and I say, you are a man, I'm lying to them, but I'm keeping peace. Let's say I do what slave of God says, right? That I only lie once to keep the peace. Then I go to someone else in this community who claims to be a man even though they're a woman. And I say, you are a woman. I don't lie to them. I tell them the truth. Am I keeping the peace? Is that a true application of this hadith?
the hadith, yeah, it limits what that lying is, so that doesn't even fit the criteria of the hadith.
100% fits the criteria.
It doesn't. It
It
doesn't fit the
100%
criteria.
does. It's making peace between people. It's making peace
The
between
criteria
people.
is more specific than that.
There's 3 criteria laid out in the hadith. It is keeping peace between people in times of war and between a man and a woman in a marriage. Those are the 3 permissible lies. Your imams teach this. You can't lie to me about it. I know this.
No, but what are you speaking about the trends? Is that something
Is that a
fits
community?
the criteria?
Is that a people? Is that a community?
No imam would agree with that. Yeah, telling the trans that use a fine.
Answer the question.
That's
Answer
not.
the question. Is it a community? Is it a community?
So you're saying that the imams would agree with us
No.
keeping peace with the trans, yeah?
No. Is it a community?
Alright, this is actually ridiculous. You're gonna tell me that the imams are gonna agree with you saying that the trans are trans for the sake of keeping
No.
peace.
You fundamentally
Yeah,
misheard
but
me. I said your
okay,
imams
so-
confirm that the 3 criteria are keeping peace between people, times of war, and marriage between a man and a woman. That's why I brought your imams up. For the criteria.
but-
Back to
okay,
the example.
okay.
Is
So,
the
no,
trans
so this
community
actually-
a
this-
community
this-
of people?
this-
That was my
Look,
question.
let's go back to the basics, yeah? Because you still haven't shown me where it says liar is not a
I
liar.
did.
Like as
I
in
literally
liar
showed you.
is telling truth.
I think
No,
it's in
we already established that.
person
You
who
asked me,
lies-
you asked me who interprets it as blameworthy, not or blamed. The lie will not be blamed. Yeah, and I
didn't
showed
ask
you
you.
what
I didn't ask
the
you.
interpretations. Oh, okay. So what I want you to do then is, yeah, bring me one alim, one scholar, one not even a scholar from the Muslims, yeah, any type of language an analyst, yeah, that would say that hadith, yeah, believes that someone who's saying a lie, yeah, is saying a truth. Just one.
I don't need to. It's right
Why
there.
not?
Formally
Why
laid
not?
out.
Because you're interpreting it that way, so surely there must be someone else that interprets it in that way.
Here is the problem. Your own imam that you just referred to confirmed it. That the word liar still means liar. They are just not a blameworthy one. In other words, he's confirming that they are a liar. In other
Yeah,
words, they don't tell the truth.
exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so if you say that the person who lies is not a liar, you are saying that the person who lies is someone who tells the truth. It
Oh my
doesn't
God.
matter that liar is being qualified because it's not being qualified as a non-negation. It's simply
You
being
just
qualified as not blameworthy. So therefore, liar will still mean liar in its plain meaning, even according to the source you brought.
you just literally said that the imams interpret it as he's a liar, yeah, but he's just not a blameworthy liar. No one ever said that the guy is a liar, but he's also telling the truth. No language analyst ever said that this saying that he's a liar, but he's also telling the truth. You cannot do that for me. Bring
It's
me what
clearly
you
gone
don't
over your
understand the Arabic. You
It's
don't
clearly gone
you
over
don't
your
understand. Hang on. You don't understand the Arabic language, so respectfully, I'm not going to take you to interpret Arabic into English. So what I want you to do is to
You
bring me
still proved my
someone,
point.
not even one of the Muslims, yeah, not even one of the Muslims, anyone that's a language analyst to come and say that this saying that a liar is truth, lying is truth. Bring me one.
You've
That
proven
doesn't
my point.
you're
only
just creating your own interpretation and then refuting your own reputation.
Sorry,
Doesn't work like that.
sorry guys.
No.
Sorry,
No,
was
not
the
at all.
sorry, was the challenge that not one of the scholars say that lying is a truth? Was that the challenge?
Lying is truth.
Lying is
Lying
truth.
is truth. Yeah.
Let me just get it straight. So you want a scholar that say that verbatimly
So
state
scholars that says person A is lying, person
Mhm.
A is telling the truth.
person A is lying, person A is telling the truth. Let me
Yeah, when we're talking about the
see.
same thing. So in
So,
the
so,
exact same
so
example,
likewise,
that
he
person is saying the
intended
truth.
by his statement, he prays for you that he is among the slaves of Allah, the Mighty and the Sublime, and would always pray for righteous Muslims in his salat. Indeed, the Prophet said, when you say that, that is peace on us, on the righteous servants Allah you have of Allah. You have sent peace to every righteous servant in the heavens and in the land. Okay. Um, okay, I got what you were saying, but I have this commentary on
King,
this specific. Yes,
King,
sir.
it was right there underneath you. It was right there underneath you. By the way, it was right there underneath what you just highlighted. They even say clearly that it is double speak.
Yeah. Some other scholars say double speaking. Yeah, tauriwa. I'm not gonna say that. Is regarded as a lie. So double speaking in this context, what does this word mean? I need to go check what this word mean. So double speaking can mean that he's speaking and speaking the truth and the lie at the same time, and then it is regarded, because of double speaking, it's regarded as a lie. For it is contrary to the reality, even if the speaker intends the exact sense. So your scholars is going against what you are saying at this moment, slave of God.
Okay. So you know what tawriya is? Tawriya, yeah, is using words that could have two possible meanings. For example, where the listener understands it as one meaning, the speaker intends it as another true meaning, yeah? So it's not the same thing as lying, because the speaker intends a truthful meaning, even though, hang on. Yeah, hang on. Let me finish. I let you finish. Let me finish. I let him finish. Okay. So it's not the same as lying, because the speaker intends a truthful meaning, even if the listener misunderstands it. For example, if someone comes into the house and says, for example, is king here? Is king here? And he replied, and we're in a house, yeah. Someone says, is king here? And I go and say, he's not with me. Yeah, me, when I said that he's not with me, means I'm like standing right next to me, but the listener thinks he's not in the house. That's one that you're technically speaking the truth while concealing information. Do you get what I'm saying?
Okay.
It's a language thing.
Yeah. So he said Tauria is not a lie. It is just speaking something that could be understood more than one way.
It's not the same. It's not the same definition as lying. That's
I
what I
let you
said. It's
finish.
not the same
I let you
definition as
finish.
lying.
I
Yeah.
let you finish. Okay. He says that Tauria is not a lie. Right
No,
there.
that's not what I said. That's not what I said. I said it's
Oh,
not the
goodness.
same definition as lying. Not the same
okay.
definition as lying. That's what I
Finish
said.
up. Finish up, brother. I'll talk after you're done. Finish up.
It's not the
Guys,
same definition of lying. Tawriya means using words that have two possible meanings. That's a different, totally different definition to lying.
guys, can you read
Okay,
what?
are you done?
Can you
Are
read
you
what?
done?
Yeah, you Crafter.
I wanna read this.
Yeah, please.
Because he just said it's not lying. Then we look at the text on screen. Double speaking Tauria is regarded as a lie, for it is contrary to reality. Thank you for lying to us. You just got caught.
Yeah, it can be regarded as a lie, but what I'm saying to you is Tawriya is not the same definition as lying. You understand what I'm saying? Tawriya, like the actual word Tawriya and lying, kizb is two different words with two different definitions. Someone could be saying Tawriya and be lying 100%. You get what I'm saying? But it's two different definitions. So because someone is saying Tawriya, for example, doesn't mean he's automatically considered lying. You understand?
Okay. It literally says there, as you have said yourself, you are a layman, you would need a scholar to interpret things. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
The text right there says some other scholars say double speaking, Tauria is regarded as a lie. The scholars think it's a lie. Thank you for proving my point.
Okay. You're just understanding it the way you want to understand it, so no problem.
I'm just reading. We just read, man. We just read. We just read, man. But thank you. Thank you for proving my point. Every source you brought up actually proves my point.
Okay.
Appreciate it. King, I'm going to enjoy the rest of my night with my wife. Thanks for having me up. Cheers, Chad.
Well, what happened to Grafted? What happened to Grafted? Did he get it? Did he get it? Guess that's good. What happened to Grafted, man? Sy vrou het hom geslaan met die belt. I provide the sacrifice. Whoa. You provide the fire. Guys, what happened? Anybody? Is everything still okay? Is the life still good? Are we still good, Daddy? Is everything still alright, Mama? I provide the sacrifice. Whoa. You Glow, at least Glow is here. Because I don't know what happened to Crafted. Did he get kicked or something? Or did he was he reported? What happened? Was he reported? He said he was going to leave. Why does Grafted leave? My guy. To spend some time with his wife. Oh. Bottom bell boy. Hulle sê steer aan die brand geslaan. Sê kom Boeta, kom. Warm lê. Dit hier vir speletjies maak hier. Dun, 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 dun. I want to show you something. I think I need to do this. This is actually the reason. Da-da-da. Da-da-da. Can you listen? Can you see it? That's actually what's on YouTube. Paul clipping the wings of Angel Jibrail. Paul got the Muslims crazy last night. Crazy. Paul het hulle mal gemaak op jou. Toe wys ons jou wie Paul is en hoe mal Allah vir Paul is. Allahu Akbar. Ja man. Ania, gedraaf jou. En hoe is lekker? En nou zijn moslims weg. There's too many gods. The lies! The lies! The lies, people, the lies. Ja, maar Graaf, dit is een mooi punt wat hij heeft. He has a nice point that he has. P is not P. For the second statement, it is expansion of the previous theme, which is the act of deliberate misinformation during war. Deliberate misinformation during war is another form of tarawirah. What is this word? What is this word? Let's go look for it. It's an Arabic rhetoric device meaning deliberate ambiguity. Okay, so it is a lie. It's a lie. Tarwirwa is a lie. For instance, you inform the enemy that you have a huge army in your rear, and any similar statement that can cast terror into the hearts of the enemies. Tarwirwa in war can be classified into two. One in form of statement and the other in form of action. Then I don't think that is the thing, man. I don't think that is a good enough reason for lies. Thank you, Glow. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You're paying your jizya. Ek is jou pastor, jy moet jou maandlikse tieners betaal hierso met hartjies en sulke goed.
Lying is truth.
Stel hier my maar ons doen. Die te wag weer vir Engeland en Argentina. The argument they can't answer. Lily J, why are you crying, Lily J, baby? Why are you crying? Lily J say, it's not so much from the other people, it is from the Muslims. Someone liked your reply. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's 100%. That is 100% correct. Someone on YouTube liked the Psalms 22 teaching of last night. They grain it. They loved it. They enjoyed it. That is good. That is absolutely correct. That's what we want. We want the teachings to go out also. So identifying Christ. That's correct. Christ as the Messiah. Anyway, let me see if I can stop this.